the, the Minister of Education, Honorable Minister of Education, who hopefully will be here soon, Mr. Thierry Zamahon, President and CEO of AIMS, Professor Barry Green, the Center President, Professor Blaise Chapanda, the Director of AIMS Rwanda, Mr. Boris Fidel Degan, Chief Operating Officer, AIMS, distinguished guests, dear graduates, ladies and gentlemen, all protocol observed. Good morning. I am indeed honored and privileged to be the chief guest at this unique and wonderful occasion as we celebrate the graduation of AIMS Rwanda class of 2018. Please allow me to take this opportunity to express my appreciation to the Director of AIMS Rwanda, welcome, Honorable Minister. Please allow me to take this opportunity to express my appreciation to the Director of AIMS Rwanda, Professor Blaise Chapanda, for the invitation to this event. Ladies and gentlemen, right from the onset of this address, it is in order that we take a moment to realize the importance of this moment. The importance of this moment to the guardians of today's graduates, the importance of the moment to the graduates' teachers and mentors, and the importance of the moment to you, the graduates themselves. You haven't graduated yet, that's why you are graduates. Just wait a few minutes, then you'll be graduates. The parents and the guardians of today's graduates share several things in common. Along the way, they shared the tireless effort of creating the right environment for you graduates to go to school, then to college, and later to university. Those guardians of yours shared the anxiety and the doubt as to whether the support they consistently offered was sustainable. Your guardians shared the selflessness and determination to persist in your support, even in the face of numerous challenges. When for them the going was tough, and when giving up on you would have been the easy thing to do, they did not quit on you. That is why and how you are here graduating today. Don't forget that. Therefore, I put it to you, graduates, that your guardians have earned the right of sharing in this moment of joy and celebration. You guardians, most of you sitting behind there, deserve this moment because you were the architects. Similarly, ladies and gentlemen, the teachers and mentors of today's graduates share several things in common. They share the tireless effort of creating the right academic environment for you, graduates, so you can take in the knowledge. They share the sleepless nights of preparing the right lectures for you. They share the challenging moments of teaching you and patiently guiding you when you were wrong. They share the difficult moments of evaluating you and making sure that the act of evaluating you in exams is both impartial and educative. Lastly, they share those moments of mentoring you and encouraging you, even when you thought the going was impossible. Therefore, I put it to you, graduates, that your teachers and mentors too have earned the right of sharing in this moment of joy and celebration. You teachers and mentors deserve this moment because you were its engineers. Finally, you, today's graduates, share several things in common. First, as you look back since you were young, you have been going to school for as long as you can remember. It has been a long road. And in fact, sometimes at moments like today, you can't believe how you found energy to be this persistent. This past year alone, as it was intimated by your fellow student speaker, this past year alone, as you look back, you must see a lot of trying times, a lot of sleepless nights, a lot of times you doubted and second-guessed yourself, wondering whether you had what it takes to be here today. And yet, here you are today. For each of you here graduating, I want you to take in the meaning of this moment. It has taken this long and much effort, but finally your day is here, undeniably. All because you did not give up on yourself. Therefore, ladies and gentlemen, for all this invested effort, I want everyone to join me in congratulating those three groups: the guardians, the teachers, and the graduates. You have acted in concert to make this day for the graduates finally come true. Congratulations to you all. Now, to the graduates. Today marks the end of an era. It marks the end of a local phase in your life, in the lifelong learning process. Because, believe it or not, life is literally a learning process. And you, literally, are at the early age of this process. Before we can discuss the implications of the end of this era, and the onset of the eras in future, let me first attempt to convince you that life is not just like a learning process, but that it is literally a learning process. Indeed, you are alive precisely because your brain, which coordinates all your physical manifestations, activities, is alive. As you move into the future, your future, from second to second, from minute to minute, your brain, that same coordinating brain, is invariably exposed to new experiences and interactions. It must be the same brain, that is, it must be competent enough to absorb these new experiences through the 6 senses and other processes so you can stay alive. In other words, your brain must be able to accommodate constant learning for it to be alive, and hence for you to be alive. If and when you permanently lose the ability to learn, you lose the ability to support your life. Therefore, learning is essentially lifelong. Learning is living, and living is learning. So, as you graduate today, as this phase of your life ends, look at it as if you were climbing a terraced hill. You just completed terrace number n, where n is not a very large number. And you still have even many more terraces to climb and enjoy. If you want, tonight and for probably the next few days, you can take the luxury of looking downhill where you just came from all these last years and quietly congratulate yourself on the journey so far covered. But do not look down for too long, just long enough to rest. Then you must continue climbing in the lifelong learning process. Now, however, is also the right time to review your life climbing plan and pick the correct direction uphill and your life in your life evolution. Think about the evolutionary plan and direction of your life that suits you best. Ultimately, it's not so much about what the world thinks in regard to you, to who you should choose to become. It is actually about how good you become at what you choose to eventually be. Yet, experience shows that one's best abilities can only be realized when one chooses to be what they like most to be, not what others want them to be. In turn, this will not only create the best life for you, but also your actions will contribute to better quality of life for those around you. Therefore, do not fear to become what you like to become most, because your life, your livelihood, and the lives and livelihoods of many others will depend on your choice. The above choices to become the best you can become imply entering into an investment business with yourself. So you might ask, how do I do this? What do I invest to become the best person that I can be? So, ladies and gentlemen, I will conclude this address to you with my answer to this question. Indeed, you have several assets as capital to invest into being the best that you can be. I will just touch on 3 of them. One which is universal and available to everyone. One which is local in space and time and available now and only to some. And one which may be restricted to just this group. The universal asset available to everyone is time. On one hand, you can choose to use your time efficiently and effectively to build up information or knowledge that you need to eventually be a wise and happy person, and useful to your environment or neighborhood. You can also choose to squander the time you have and as a consequence, learn very little to end up mostly both physically and intellectually poor, and also to end up not only very useful to yourself or your environment. It is all about how you choose to use your time from now on. Recalling and using the analogy of the terrace hill we just mentioned before, maximizing your time use to acquire lots of experience in short times is analogous to climbing the hill directly. On the other hand, taking long to acquire little is analogous to taking a slanted path on the same hill. You can choose to do nothing, in which what would be the maximized path would become a path orthogonal to that. And you remember dot products? That is 0. So, the second asset you can invest in becoming your best is opportunity. This particular opportunity I'm talking about is local in space and time, and it is the opportunity of living in this part of the world, living on this continent right now. There may have been a time when living in Africa was not such great fun and such a great asset, but not anymore. Africa is undergoing a fundamental sweeping transformation in every respect of its evolution, be it scientific, technological, economic, political, and or social. Africa is the future region of choice to live in. So, stay here. Stay here to transform it further. And I can assure you, you will not regret it. The final asset available to you to tap into to make you the best that you can be is the training that you have already received here at AIMS. Most graduates of your kind in other institutions will have had a certain kind of training. This is what differentiates you, the AIMS graduate, from the others. Your training is unique. It is unique because it combines both breadth and depth in that unusual way that allows you to become virtually anything you can want to become. Thus, among you are future entrepreneurs to raise the business and industrial landscape of this continent. Among you are innovators to set Africa and the rest of the world on a new technological landscape. Among you are the intellectual warriors that will fight the future war of climate change. And finally, among you are the next Einsteins to solve our cosmic and other puzzles, to identify the origins of dark matter, the origins of dark energy, and to address the cosmological constant problem, just to name a few. So, to you, today's graduates of AIMS, as we congratulate you, we also say to you, go out and claim your world. And along the way, always be prepared, because chance favors the prepared mind. Go out and make the world a better place than you found it. Congratulations.